Hello there. Sorry for the unannounced, unplanned stream. I also have to note I can't stream for too long because I have some plans about lunchtime in just over an hour. So this will be a shorter stream, but oh, I had to show you this. I had to show this. So, when we left off, we were kind of on board with Unite, right? Like, not my favourite RPG maker, but for the sake of the game jam, I'm going to give it a fair shot. I'm going to give it a fair try. And that, on screen right now, might give you an idea as to how well Unite is going. Hello, that filthy casual. I apologise in advance. I'm going to be kind of mad. I'm going to be kind of mad here. So, these console errors. Since the last stream, I haven't done a whole lot. I really haven't. If we go to our test area, so this was a map that we were working on. I had added some NPCs, and I had added an event as well. Annoyingly, the little error with Unite, what should happen is the list of events in the map should show here. Instead, it's created this tiny little window with nothing in it, with absolutely nothing in it, and yeah, that gives a null reference exception error as well. It's unable to put this window in there and populate it with the event IDs, which is a great start. So now, if I want to edit any event, I have to actually click on the event, and it's still doing this weird jumpy thing, where it, yeah, does that. So I'd started, just putting in some events here, typing away, here's some dialogue. I'd made it so it'd walk up and down, and he'd address a cadet, and I added some variable tracking in a parallel process so I could tell where the drill sergeant was. There we go, we're tracking his X and Y values, so that the cadet he was standing in front of would be the cadet that jumps and says, yes, sir, and we can see that in this conditional branch here, where, depending on the x-coordinate of this guy, a different one of these guys will jump. Nice little touch, nice little bit of polish. I was like, yeah, I like doing stuff like that. Let me just reset the starting position, and we'll see the problem. We'll see the problem. So I'm just going to move these back to the test map. It probably doesn't matter whereabouts they are. And I'm just going to go back to system settings and, oh, no, options, and start transparent, right? Just to show you what happens when I hit play. Oh dear, number one, it's going to free aspect when it shouldn't. Let's try a 16:9. And also, for some reason, now the map's up there. Great. But nothing happens. The game just freezes, and it wasn't just freezing before. Okay, maybe it's something with the cutscene. Maybe it doesn't like the parallel process for tracking his X and Y coordinate, right? Alongside an auto start for then the cutscene. Maybe that's a conflict. Maybe that's what's happening. So, to see if that was the case, I then decided to just change the start position. So let's take start off. Let's go back to default party settings, and we'll put it on map 2 again, and let's punch you down to 10, so you'll actually... Oh, or you could just ignore the input. That would also work. So now I'll be visible, I'll be on a map, there'll be no events running on this map. There's no events on this map, okay? So then I hit play. Still nothing, still can't do a damn thing. Nothing's happening. And if we look at the console right now, it is populating every single frame a null reference exception error. Every single frame. Now, that's not good. What happened? What happened? Let's look at the console. Let's inspect this, because they're all the same. They all say exactly the same thing. So, I apologize, you probably can't read that on stream quality. Null reference exception. So that means it is trying to refer to something that does not exist, and that is what's causing the crash. Whereabouts is it? RPGmaker.codebase. Oh, so it's in the actual setup of RPG Maker Unite, how they wrote it. Change dash character, which is interesting, because we only have walking poses in Unite. We don't have running poses. We only get walking. So, whereabouts is that error? Let's have a look. So it's in their map manager, and it's saying, is the shift key down? Or is it not down? So, They seem to have their own input system, despite Unity coming with an input system, and that is failing. That's great. So it can't do that. Oh no. What else is going on? Okay, so update event watch. So this is also in our map manager, and which line exactly was that? Sorry. 2023. Okay, so this is line 2023, change dash character. So this is referring to the exact function that was failing above. So those are both related. Hopefully you fix one, you fix both, right? Then, map scene map time handler, update event watch. Okay, that's the thing we saw before in the map manager. Manager.update event watch. So these are 3 so far that are related to it doesn't seem to know if the shift key is down or not. That's a problem. That's a big problem. Now, time action execute action. So action is a custom parameter that they define elsewhere, because I've been looking into this and seeing what the hell is going on. So seemingly that custom parameter is failing. There is something in the custom parameter that it cannot find or action. Seems to be the case. And then this one seems to be related because it's time actions dot execute action. So it's the actions in a row, execute them. So there are issues with the core scripts that Unite relies on. Bear in mind, I haven't touched these. I have only done some mapping and some eventing between the last stream and this stream right now. Other than that, I have done precisely nothing. Unite has opened, and it has decided it wants chaos today, and it has decided to break. It is completely unreliable. And what annoys me is that Unite has purposefully made its own input system, its own tile map system, and its own animation system. Okay? And those things are broken. They do not function. I now cannot run my game at all, and I don't know enough about how they've built the backend to fix it. And beyond that, for a $100 product, okay, fair enough, you can get it on a Humble Bundle right now for $20, but for an MSRP $100 product, I should not have to go in and fix their shit. Alright? It has been over a year, I think 18 months since RPG Maker Unite came out. This is inexcusable. This is not fit for sale. This should not be on the market. I am tempted to send this stream to Unity and ask them to just pull this from the assets store, because it is not in a saleable condition. This is not okay. You cannot give this to a consumer as is. There is no way in hell. Yesterday I had gripes, okay? But I was willing to push through those and be like, well, let's try and see the good in Unite. Let's see if the internet rhetoric about, oh, Unite sucks, is just an echo chamber, and whether there is something good and salvageable about Unite. Because if it works, you've got an RPG maker that can publish to any platform, not just PC and mobile, but consoles too. And that's incredibly powerful for starter developers, and it opens up a lot of new opportunities, because you don't have to then remake your RPG Maker game in another engine to get it on PlayStation, Switch, Xbox, etc. That would be great, but this is broken. This is not doing the one thing it is made to do, and it's utterly incompetent as a product. Even though I paid, I think, $30 for this in a sale in January, I want a refund. That's where I'm at. I want my money back. Get rid of this shit. I cannot recommend Unite to anybody for any purpose. This is terrible. So what we're going to be doing for the Game Jam, because the Game Jam ain't over, we're restarting in RPG Maker MZ, an engine that actually works. And that's what we're going to do today. But before that, just to really hammer the point home, let's go to Unity Hub. This is my indie game, my project, Crisis Island, that I've been working on separately for far too long and making probably not enough progress. But I just want to show you a few things just to show that all of the stuff RPG Maker Unite does, it doesn't really need to do because Unity already has it, And not only does Unity already have it, Unity does it better. Okay, I want you to keep that in mind. Unity does it better. So, let's open this up, let's have a look, and we'll see exactly how scuffed Unite is, because you've just seen what it does on its own, you've seen through yesterday's stream and today's the awful, awful setup for animations and the like. This will give us a nice base for comparison. It's going to take a minute because it's Unity. Unity always takes a minute to open a project, but let's just give it a sec. Let's just give it a sec, and we'll see all of the tools that were already there and superior that Unite did not need to recreate or do a custom solution for. Okay, so let's have a look at that together, and I'm sure you'll soon agree. Okay, here we are. So this is my game. So let's take a look at our player. So player 1, there it is. So it comes with an animator, so you can see I can transition between these. Yes, I've had to set this up myself, but I can put in rules. So, idle, okay, if their speed's nothing, they're idle. Actually, let's transition into a walk if the speed is greater than nothing and they're not shooting. Walk while shooting if it's greater than nothing and they are shooting. Damage is pretty easy from any state. If they take damage, they go into the damage animation, right? So that's how the animations are controlled. And in terms of what those look like, if I go into here, so the animations are done depending on which weapon you're holding. So here's the idle facing up. There we go, nice and smooth, we like that. Here is... She's got a lot of animations, I apologise. Dead left, sure. That's when she's dead. That's that one, but you see what I mean? There's already a very competent animation system built into Unity, right? Unite did not need to make their own. There's a very simple one there. In terms of tile mapping, that already exists too. So if we open up the tile palette, there we go, those are all my tiles for this level. I can pick what layer I want to put them on. I arguably have too many layers and that's hurting performance. I need to consolidate that. That's a me problem to figure out. But yeah, and it's already got fill bucket, paint bucket, etc. And I don't have to paint one tile at a time. I can select multiple tiles. So straight away there we're seeing actually they didn't need to make a tile map system. They didn't need to make an animation system. And here's the other thing that Unity already provides that they didn't need to make. If I go to player 1, let's just close my scripts. So I've added like a health manager and a sorting layer script. Some colliders, there's a few bits going on there. What am I looking for? So there's player input, actions, player input, actions. So it comes with an input map as well, so you can already say like move. So you've got the left stick, you've got WASD, which is another thing. Unite only uses the arrow keys to move. It doesn't use WASD, which is just bonkers. So from this, we can say Unite is scuffed. Do not use Unite, do not buy Unite, do not try Unite. Do not give Unite the benefit of the doubt. You will regret it. I gave Unite the benefit of the doubt. I regretted it. I'm now restarting my project in something else. And yes, it does have to be another maker so that it's eligible for the game jam. But boys, we are starting over. Boys and girls, let's be inclusive. That is fucking abhorrent. That list of null reference exception errors. Gotcha games, you should be absolutely ashamed. This product should be recalled with mandatory refunds for every sap who was sad enough to accidentally buy it. You did not deserve our faith, and do better. Right, rant over. Let's fix this shit now. Let's redo this in something that actually works. So I'm going to need Steam, which is here somewhere. It's here somewhere. There's Steam. So RPG Maker MZ, and we're going to do, in the next 30 minutes or so, probably more than we were able to do in Unite yesterday. And that's partly because we know what we're making, but it's also partly because MZ isn't a complete and utter pile of shite. So, we are going to File, New This is to remember to delete this project from yesterday. Clearly, I did not remember to delete this. New project, Trial by Fireteam. Okay, and we'll see the differences straight away between RPG Maker Unite and RPG Maker MZ. So just first of all, creating a new project. So we're in the editor, and we are creating a new project. Remember, it took us about half an hour yesterday to get from nothing to actually having a project open in front of us that we could edit and play with, right? Let's have a look, see what we've got now. Boom, we're in. This is a project we can start editing and doing stuff with. Just that easily, that straight away. In terms of, so last time I brought in my own assets and what I prototype with. Let's do that. So, this is our resource, oh no, that's our database, sorry. That's the plugin manager. This is resources? This is resources. So all I need to do here is go to tilesets, import, and I have, so first of all it's looking inside its own folder, that's not where we want to be. Let's go to RPG Maker, MZ templates, and template 1A through template A1 to template A5, open. Okay, so we should now have our templates in here, fantastic. Although I've got the casing inconsistent, that's going to bug me. It won't bug anyone else, just me. So now let's go to the database and tilesets. So, I don't want any of these. And look at this. I can shift and delete. It will let me just shift, select, and delete. Which Unite wouldn't let me do. I had to delete stuff that was already in there, one at a goddamn time. So, prototyping. I'm just going to call this animation. So, all I need to do is go to template A1. There we go. A2 is for our ground tiles. There we go. And this will look quite familiar to you. You can see that the tiles I brought into Unite were based on these templates that I had already made for MZ. Template A3, yeah. A4 is our walls, so we'll just grab that. Where is it? There we go. And A5 for just our regular old tiles. Okay, now, unfortunately, because I deleted rather than overwriting, which I should have overwritten, none of these have passability flags right now. So, I'm just going to go through and we can see with these, no, 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 there's no limit. Right, then we just want to say, you can't walk through any of these. And it's just a matter of simply clicking them. Oh, done that one twice. That's going to appear overhead. We don't want that. Well, we will want that for some tiles later on, but that's not a now concern. And because I filled in the standard template at the standard size, there's a lot more of these than we saw yesterday. That's fine. That's fair enough. But we know what everything does. So, all of these that we can't walk on, a lot of these that we can't walk on. Because I've got the walls one in there, you don't always have walls. Okay. So now we get to some more interesting ones where actually we have, you can go one way but you can't go the other. So for that we're just going to put on passage and these arrows appear, so you can't go down, you can't go up. You can't go down, you can't go up. You can't go left, you can't go right, you can't go right, you can't go left. Okay, and then down here. So these were originally stairs, I believe, in the default. So I've just kept them like that. That's a stair one. But yeah, I can't believe how bad Unite is. Like, I didn't want to believe the stories, but I believe I'm a believer. It is that shite. Here's my favourite little diagonal walls here, so yep, that's all fine, that looks all fine. So, oh, and this one is just you can't walk anywhere on that, so All of these become no. All of you become new. We're not working on you today. Okay. And that's it. I've just got my tile map and bam, that's there. So the next thing we need to sort out. Settings. So these should be on 48 by 48. Let's just make sure. System 48 by 48. Beautiful. And see this? How it gives us the option. What do we want our tile size to be? What do we want our icon size to be? And what do we want our face size to be? Yeah, it's nice to have those options, right? Would be really great to have those options. Unite. Sorry, I'm pretty angry right now. So, all I'm going to do for now is just flood fill this map with that. And let's just see how my auto tiles are looking and working. Yep. Yeah, that's pretty much working as intended. That's cool. Something else I realized, by the way, about Unite. So in here, let's say I've got a wall, right? And I did a wall up here, right? So that actually, you can see, it makes a break. It's like, okay, that needs to be an edge. Unite wasn't doing that. Unite was continuing across here, which I didn't want. Now, something interesting I can do in here is I can right-click, right, a specific tile, and then if I shift-click, it will ignore the auto tile rules. So you see how it's done that top corner instead of the middle. So if I were to just click, I get that because that's the auto tile rule. But if I shift and click, I get this corner because, again, that's how the auto tiling works. And I think that's really smart. You can't do that in Unite. That doesn't exist in Unite. So that is, again, another mark against it. I'm going to be using MZ. Now, I'm going to do something that's going to look odd initially. So, go to my resource manager and go to my characters, which for some reason are called actors. And I've got two here, one for female, one for male. You'll notice they're oddly named, percentage and then brackets 4. They're also oddly formatted. So, there we go. So if I go to the database and my actors, so a normal RPG Maker sheet looks like this. You've got the middle is your idol. This is one part of the walk pose. This is the other part of the walk pose. And each of these is a separate character. But what I have just imported doesn't follow any of that. It is... Where are they? Come on, I just imported you. Where are you? Let me double check I've done it to the right folder. Resource Manager. Oh, characters. Where did I put it? Actors. Oh, I've put it in completely the wrong folder. I'll need to clean that out. That's fine. That's on me. Okay. So, also, notice how much faster and more responsive everything is, and how everything has its own dedicated window, and it's very obvious what you're in and what you're doing. Unlike Unite! I'm not going to stop bashing it, I'm sorry. Here we go. So you'll notice that mine look a little bit different. So you can see here that this is only idle, and this is only walking, and this is running. And you'll notice that it's 4 in each instead of 3 in each. And you'll see then in the preview, it's a little confused. It's like, oh, okay, and it's displaying the same character twice because it's splitting it in 3 for the normal frames you'd have. I'm just going to do that for the other 2 as well. And try and remember the character names I had too. Nope, no, not you. You. I think it was Claire, Brian, I want to say, and James. That's what I want to say it is. And I want to delete those. And again, shift-click to delete. Fantastic. There we go. Hit apply. So we've saved that, we've applied that. Okay? But they're going to look really weird when I press play. So I press play. Game starts up. See? Looks entirely bizarre, doesn't it? That's broken. So, this is designed for use with a specific plugin. So, if I open up my folder here. Hello, folder. That's really weird. Okay, give me one moment. Okay, so here's the folder. For some reason, it didn't want to show over the RPG Maker window. I've not had that before. RPG Maker MZ plugins. Galv. Galv is my hero. So, character animations, character frames, diagonal movements. I use a lot of Galv plugins. I think he's underrated. Or she. I assume a he. I probably shouldn't. They are underrated. So, what we're going to do is have a really weird... What is going on there? There we go. Did you guys see that visual glitch as well? Was that just me? I'm praising you, MZ. Don't do this. Open up my JavaScript folder, open up my plugins folder, and there's already a couple in here by default. So I want the character animations and the character frames. I do want message bus and message styles and puzzle functions. Layer graphics I'm going to say no to because I'm not parallax mapping. And diagonal movement will be handled by a different plugin. I'm going to do that. Go back to Galv. So there are a lot of plugins by Visual I don't recommend putting them all in at all, and I'm only going to be putting them in as I need them, so I'll be doing them one at a time. I am grabbing this for now, though. This is really great for separating out groups of plugins and groups of plugin functions, because it's just a bunch of dashes. So now that we've got that, I'm going to go to my plugin manager. So... And this is how plugins now work. You just pick them from a list, basically. So I'm going to have that at the very top, and I'm going to turn it off. And all that does is it separates it, and it makes my list look nicer. It does nothing else. Now, I want my character animations. Okay. So, I'm not using jump graphics. Okay. So, to use the script, you will need a character sprite sheet for each of your actors that will be in the party. While on the map, the characters will change their appearance within their sheets. While not moving, idle, they will use the first character. Right, now you're seeing why I had a character set that was like, one was just idle pose, one was walking pose, one was running pose. It's for compatibility with this script. So we say OK to that one. And then we're going to want character frames on. And this is why I had a weird naming convention. So this gives you more than the default, technically 2 frames of animation for walking. And this is where it's then percentage and then the number of frames. So you combine this with the other script, and suddenly you can not only have a dedicated idle pose, a dedicated walking pose, and a dedicated run pose, but you can also give them additional frames and make smoother animations. So if I press OK to that, I'm going to apply those and press OK. There are other Galv plugins there. I'm not going to get into them just yet. And then we hit play. Save changes to the game, yeah. Hit new. So now the character looks correct. Okay? And when we walk around... Oh yeah, that's so much smoother than it was in Unite. Like, it actually just works as it's supposed to. That's a lot smoother. And if we hold shift to run, we get a unique set of animations for running. So you get some visual feedback and the extra speed. And it looks like they're making more effort. Or at least it would if my sprite animations were worth a damn and of any discernible quality. There's a few other settings I want to change here. So... I'm going to go into System 2, and let's have a look. That's all fine. This is what I want to change. So, I like to make the games 1280 by 720. And then usually I just take 40 off each axis for the UI area, kind of treating it almost like an overscan. Hit apply. Now what this will do, when I hit play... See, the window's a different size now. It's actually in 16:9 widescreen. I don't go to a full 1080p for the simple reason that I feel like the sprites become too small comparatively. This seems to be a nice sweet spot where actually everything's kind of a nice size. But already we're in... What have I been in? 15 minutes, and I'm already much further than I was by this point in Unite. So I... really strongly cannot recommend Unite. The one thing I do need to do, come to think of it, is just go to the starting party, which I think is under System 1. Yes. So because I deleted other actors, it doesn't know who else is there. James, and then I can just delete that one. I don't have to set a separate parameter for that. Hit apply, hit OK, and now they should all follow each other. Yeah. Perfect. Spot on. And if I start running, they start running. There we go. Beautiful. And if I open up the menu now, yeah, the menu is sized properly. Okay. Perfect. Game end. Sure. There we go. Okay, so that is working. We're back in. I am going to hit edit here. There's some other stuff I'll be bringing in for plugins, and I'll explain those as I go. But yeah, this is where I should have just started, to be honest. Let's bring up my calculator. So I know it's 1280. There's 48 pixels per tile, so it will be a minimum of 27 tiles on screen at any one time. And I also know that we are 720 tall over 48 tiles is exactly 15 tall. So that is the minimum size we want to be working with at any time. There we are. And look, I can just zoom in and out. Isn't that great? Unite would be great. Okay, so what I now want to do, let's just fill this. Let's try and quickly recreate the scene that we had. So that's going to all be water. And the water's going to sort of lap up a bit. We're going to do that. Okay. You'll see why there's ones on everything shortly. Okay, and then I just want a wall for the trees. And what I might do here is just sort of go 1, 2, 3. So one thing I don't like about this version is it has the rather annoying, in my opinion, auto shadows on. I have never been a fan of the auto shadows, I'm sorry. I know some people are quite happy to have them and I'm like, oh no, but it helps because then it's one less thing for me to worry about. I'm a control freak. I want to worry about that. And I do very much worry about that. So, yeah, that falls under a thanks but no thanks category for me. Okay, so we've got our trees. Beautiful. This doesn't have to be an exact science by any means. And another thing I can do, actually, because on this template I've set myself up to have multiple kinds of auto tile, is I can sort of start to define what's the sand on the beach and what's the grass. Because I know this is going to be a beach eventually, right? And then we need, just up here, a fill and a fill. So we know we can't go there. We know that's going to be the tippy tree tops. Okay. So now let's get into event mode, which I believe... No, that's the shadow pen. Where's event mode? Over here? Over here. And I can drag and drop the starting position for the player. Ooh, how advanced. Right. So I kind of want my drill sergeant guy to be here. What I am going to do before I do anything else is just make a reserved event. This is a habit I've been in since RPG Maker 2003, is always create and reserve an empty event for each map. Sometimes I don't need it, but you'll be amazed how often that has come in clutch. Now, let's make our drill sergeant, however the hell that's pronounced. I don't know how that's... How do you spell sergeant? I should have looked this up when I was doing the other bit. Hang on. Let me just open up a Google. Sergeant. Sergeant is a noun or a police organization. The correct spelling is sergeant. Cool, that is the correct spelling. Hooray! So he is going to use one of these. And this is the other thing, if you want someone facing left or right, you just pick them facing left or right. You don't have to then specify that in another separate drop-down. Unite. And priority same, speed, normal, move frequency, highest. No walk... Oh, yes, walking animation, yes, but no stepping animation. Okay, so there's our sergeant. We're going to be here. So that'll be James... Cadet 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to shove Cadet 1 here. And they're going to be facing up. And apply. And then this will create Cadets 2 and 3. And look at how we're getting a very responsive list over on the right-hand side there. As we're creating events, they're just appearing. And this is going to be... did I have Brian first or James first last time? Anyway, Brian. Hit apply. We're going to be here. So this is... I should specify that these are cutscene versions of playable characters. Now, there are going to be some downsides. Because I had to set each of these up as separate actors in the back end of Unite, that means I could just change... their graphics in one place and it would inherit through. This is going to be a much more manual job. I'm going to have to go through each event individually later to update the graphics, and that's going to be kind of annoying. But it's the price I pay for control, right? Okay, and then we've got another Cadet 4. Cadet 5. Oh, I was just on that. Hang on. I'm a dumb. And Cadet 6, right? Speed, not haste, Sam. So, we're all on the beach. He is a little bit more up in our face, please. Okay, and he's going to walk up and down. Now, this is where I want to bring in 2 more Galv scripts before I do anything else. Or scripts, plugins. So, what I want to do is bring in... I should bring in busts and styles together. I just won't turn busts on yet because I don't have any. And then styles. This is my favorite. What I like to do is this is a code to use inside the show text command, right? So I'm going to just Control-A, Control-C these instructions for the moment. Hit OK. That's going to fail because I don't have the, whatchamacallit in there yet. I'm going to have to make a graphic for that to work. And then finally I want to add his puzzle functions. There we go. Hit apply. So I've got a few basic scripts in there. I'm just going to open a notepad. Oh, sorry, that was me proving to a friend that Notepad had a dark mode the other day. They know who they are. So, window arrow, yes. So this will give me an error if I try to launch it now, saying it can't find window arrow.png, I believe. Let me just test that, actually. So I hit play right now. Yeah, so I need window arrow.png, and it needs to be an IMG system. I'm just going to make a blank graphic for the moment. I'm going to do it lazily. So let's open up Steam, Sprite, launch. Oh, and it's gone onto the wrong window, because of course it has. Hooray! New 8x8. Sorry, I'll just try and bring this over. There we go. And I'll just do pure white. And for now... no, let's do this, and then this. There we go. So, file, export as, where is it? Program files, local disk, this PC. Here we go. And then game making. RPG Maker, and I'm just going to shove it here for now. We can always replace this later. I just need something to get rid of that error message. Window arrow.png. Okay, and because of the scale of everything else, I want this at 300%. I'm going to keep Sprite open, just in case I need it again later. I probably will. So now I need to put that in the images folder. No, I don't. I need to put that in the system folder. Import, RPG Maker, window arrow, open. So now when I play, I shouldn't get that same error. Oh, and it's not going to play because it's already opened another window. I wonder if I can just hit retry then. Yeah, I can just hit retry. So yep, they're all on the beach. So you can see that the reason that has a 1 on it is because it's an animated tile. So it allows me to, while prototyping, see where it's going. So it goes 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. So it's not 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It's 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. And that's really important for animations in MZ to always remember that it's going to follow that. So let's come out of that. Let's now hit my settings. I'm keeping one eye on the time. I've got about 15 minutes left, which should be enough time to show what I want to show. So what was I doing? Oh yes, coming in here to then say transparent start, hit apply, and I want to put this down here. Okay, now let's make the cutscene. Alright, and hit apply, just it's going to be blank over there for the moment because I've realized I'm going to need another set of instructions. It's like to keep these where I can see them and refer to them. What I'm going to do, this is everything that Galv's puzzle functions can do. There's a specific thing I'm going to need from it. I'm just going to put my notepad on the other screen so that I can see it and refer to it as I'm making this. It's a really basic thing that I want to do too. So, right. So show text, name, Sergeant. I'm really glad we get that little name field. Alright, you... Alright, listen up you maggots. I don't have a face set to put with it yet. That's fine. But in terms of message styles, I want to show that it's coming from the drill sergeant. And I can do this by saying... backhash pop 2. And then this will appear above event number 2. Okay? So that's fine. I don't think there's anything else I really need to do with that. I think text wrap is already on, so that's okay. Press alright. Now I need to set a move route. So set movement route for the drill sergeant. So he's going to, if I hit preview, 1, this is what I love about this as well, you don't have to go back to the map like you used to have to. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so it's 4, 8, 4. Fine. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, while I kind of liked Unite's draw it on system, this gives me more control. And you'll also see I've got a lot more options here than I had in Unite. So I can turn them, I can make them transparent, I can change their character set, I can make them play a specific animation. Just a lot more control here if I want to do a, whatchamacallit? I've forgotten the word. The word's gone. If I want to just add a little juice to some cutscenes. So he's going to start that movement route. Okay. And then we're going to have, we're just going to copy paste that. But you can't. Oh, I just hit caps lock midway through. Call yourself soldiers until you... You know what I'm going to do? Just so I can see where the line endings are. Yeah. Until you pass this final exam. There we go. I'm just going to put backhash pop 2. There's a nice little preview as well where you can see what it's going to look like. I really, there's a lot of things about MZ I really like. Nice little quality of life features I don't necessarily see in Unite. So MZ is very, very good for that. Now, wait, are there less event command options in Unite or just less movement options? Less of everything. So I was using Unite initially for this game jam across yesterday and early this morning. Ran into a lot of issues with Unite, got very, very frustrated, and then moved back over to MZ, where I just have so much more versatility. Yeah, I cannot... probably look at the start of this stream for more of the reasons why, but I cannot recommend Unite to anybody for anything. It is not fit for sale. And I will be sending a comprehensive complaint to Gotcha Gotcha Games about the state of their product. Right, so now I want to check where the drill sergeant is and who he's standing in front of. So we know that if he's standing at... so we can see down here our coordinates, right? And as I move around, those change. So if he's standing at 9, he's in front of Cadet 1. And if he's standing at 17, he's in front of Cadet 6. So, before Galv's puzzle functions, I would have had to, and this is what I had to do in Unite, a parallel process to save the character's X and Y coordinates to variables. Now I don't have to do that. So, we've got... I'm just going to bring it over here, actually. So determine location without having to use control variables beforehand. So that's part 2. Okay? And we can also check self-switches and things. Is at. Used in conditional branch script field, the is-at function allows you to check if a player or event is at the same position as another event or XY coordinate without having to use variables. So galv.pos is at, so t equals target event ID or 0 for the player, or XY to specify a target XY location. E equals event ID of the event you wish to check if it's at the target's position. Use this sort of event ID for current event, use 0 for player. So, galv pars is at 12:14. Is current event at x12, y14. Galv pars is at 12:14, 9. Is event 9 at 12 and 14. So this is the version we want. Okay? And we can make conditional branches. So, galv pars is at. So, what I now want to check is your ID. So your ID 2. Okay? So, let's make a branch. So, conditional branch. We want the script field. Galv pars is at. Okay, so this is going to be event 2, and I'm going to need to update those coordinates. Give me one moment. So if he's talking to Cadet... Oh!
Excellent.
Oh, thank you, Merkam Mana, for subscribing. I forgot I had set that alert up, so I suddenly heard Robotnik and freaked out. Yeah. So event 2 is at 9:08. Okay. So if he's at 9 and 8, welcome to the channel, by the way. And thank you very much for the subscription. I've heard people talk about how bad it was before. I only ask because I really like using the eventing system. Yes, so I started on RPG Maker 2003 way back when, and I love the eventing system. I do as much as I can in events without using plugins, but plugins do come in clutch. Like here, I'm saving myself a lot of time because otherwise I would be doing a parallel process to track the event's location, put those into variables, and then make a conditional branch to say if event X equals, whereas this little shorthand lets me get around that. It's a shame they don't give the eventing system more love. I agree. I felt very out of sorts with the community because I felt very adept with 2003. And then XP came out and I didn't know Ruby scripting. So I immediately fell out of the loop. It was really weird and bizarre. And then that sort of continued to be the trend through VX, VXA, SemV, and MZ. So, yeah. So I want to say here is if script Galv pauses at the location of the first cadet. And then, so regardless, he's going to say, are you listening, cadet? Actually, that can come out with the if, because that's going to be true regardless of where he is. And we're going to have a movement route here, so he stops moving up and down. That's going to be the other important thing, so... set movement route. Drill sergeant, move down, skip if can't move, wait for completion. This is the other one I forgot, is here I needed to hit repeat movements. Okay, so if he's there, he's in front of Cadet 1. So we set a movement route for Cadet 1. And he's just going to do a jump in place. Press OK. OK. And then we're going to show a little message that just says, so let's see, Cadet. And this is going to be event ID 3. Yes, I've got the handy list there. So 3. And... Sir, yes, sir. Okay, cool. So that's saying if they're there, then we make this cadet pop. What I might... No, that's fine. So then the else handler. So this is saying, well, what if he's not at that cadet? What if he's at the next cadet? 10, right? I'm just going to make sure out of paranoia before I do this 100 times that he is at 8. Yes, he is at 8. Okay, cool. Okay. So now we're there. We're going to say set movement route of cadet 2. And the message is going to become pop 4. Because it's the next event along. Okay, and then I hope this works, by the way. I got another else. Okay, so what if he's at 11? Then it's going to be cadet 3. So we'll make cadet 3 jump in place. And we'll say, this is a really silly thing. I probably don't need to do this level of detail to make the right cadet. It's just I don't know when someone's going to space bar out of him walking up and down. So he could approach any of these cadets, really. Now we've got another else. So if he's at 11, he's going to be approaching someone else entirely. He's going to be approaching a player character. Ooh. Or is he? No, not yet. Cadet 3. Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. Oh, no, I just said Cadet 3. What do I get for copy-pasting? So he's going to approach Brian. So I need to change the name here to reflect that. And Brian is number 6. There we go, pop 6. And just make sure, so that was pop 5, yep. Cool, and then we've got another else handler, so this is where he's going to approach us. Or at least the cutscene version of us, so this is if he's at 12, I believe. Okay, I'm going to start just copying the most recent one, so that it's not like... Claire cutscene, okay. And Claire, so yes sir, and she is event number 7, so we're going to put pop 7. And yeah, this is sort of the more boring bit of RPG Maker, is where you're like, just doing... I mean, I find it fun, it's probably not thrilling to watch, but yeah. So if you're there, we're then going to do James is going to jump, press OK. And James, I could be smarter here. There are shortcodes that would allow me to just put an actor name in there. And if I right-click, not plugin help, insert color index, insert control. Oh, that's quite cool. You can now do all of that. That's pretty rad. I like that. So if you want actor, okay, let's do this. let's do this. So just to future-proof myself a little bit here. Okay, so he is player 3, I think, is James. So then you are N1, and then you should be N2 up here. So that's why I like, you can just press spacebar and edit an existing one. I find that really nice. Have you looked into the Maniacs patch for the current version of 2003? It's what I currently use, and it expands the eventing system. Ooh! Allows for some coding too. Haven't looked into that. No, I had not heard of that. So I used to do, entirely through eventing, action battle systems. So I did Dragon Ball Z Legacy of Goku fan games on Paquitas, and I used to post them on Gaming World as well. But yeah, entirely evented ABS systems in the vanilla RPG Maker 2003. It required a lot of manual work, but it was satisfying to get working. Okay, so I'm trying to remember where I was, sorry. So this will be number 14, it'll be a cadet again, so I can just start making that a little more generic. So it's not James cutscene anymore, it's cadet 4. Oh, have I been updating the pops? Because what are you? Cadet 4 is event 9. I have not been updating the pops. Or at least I haven't updated the pop for James, so it's going to look like Claire is talking when I want it to be James. That's not good. Easily fixed. I just changed that to pop 8. Okay, so that's then pop 9. Cadet. So yes, sir. And we'll see what this does in a minute, and I think I'll end the stream there because I've then got to get, we have lunchtime plans, unfortunately. But else, here we go again. So there's 2 more cadets to do, and then that'll be it. So if they're at 15, then we want cadet 5. Okay. And we want pop 10. Pop 10, yep, we're bang on, and then we've got one final one to do. Press OK, and then the final copy-paste of this. I can take the else handler off now, because there won't be an else, hopefully, if he's at 16 and 8. So, Cadet 6 will jump, and Cadet 6 will speak. I'm just going to run that a couple of times, just to make sure it actually does what I want it to do. So, press OK, press apply. Right. Oh, the other thing I need to set this to auto-run, otherwise it's not going to start. Right, are we ready to see if this cutscene works, and whether in less than an hour I've actually made up for about 4 hours work in Unite? So a quarter of a time for the same results. Alright, listen up, you maggots. Are you listening? Oh no, he's just sort of gliding. Something's gone wrong. Okay, that's wrong. That is not how I wanted that to work at all. Oh no. Is there a note tag I need to put in if I want character frames? Let's debug this quickly. Character frames. This plugin allows you to, in the plugin settings, to make a character set. In the file name you need to include that, yeah. For example, yeah. X is the number of frames, yeah, that's fine. Okay, so it's not in that one. Is it character animations? To use the script, you will need plugin commands, player animation. Event functionality requires this note tag. Thank you. I'm glad I know that. So, note. Character anims. Hit apply. Don't forget to cutscene. This seems to be happening in the wrong order. Let me have a look. That's why, because it is in the wrong order. Order of operations are important. Hit apply. So now we should get the result we want. We should hopefully get the result we want. Let's have a look. Alright, listen up, you maggots. You might have passed boot camp, but you can't call yourself soldiers until you pass this final exam. Are you listening, cadet? Oh no, the Sir Yes Sir didn't fire. Oh no, I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. So all of these, right, I'm saying if he's at 16 and 8, and I base the 8 on up here, he moves down to talk to the cadet, so he's not going to be at 8, he's going to be at 9, which means all of these are wrong. All of these are wrong. So if he's at 16 and 9, I really just want to check the X, and there probably is something for just checking the X, but 15 and 9. 14 and 9. This is the kind of thing that drives you crazy during any kind of game dev, is when you find the one really stupid oversight that you should have caught. And then you want to kick yourself because it's so blinking obvious. Yeah. There we go. All of these need to be 9. So 11... Oh, hang on, that's not good. I've messed up there somewhere. Man, I'd say I'm an idiot so often when playtesting after yes, I'm glad it's not just me. Let me just check. So this is if they're at 9 and 9. This one... No. No? Where are you? You're right, so that is 9 and 9. 9 and 9 is where we start. Oh dear. Right. Is at 9 and 9. So this needs to be is at 10 and 9. Which means you're 11 and 9. So you need to be 12 and 9. You need to be... Oh no! Oh no! I forgot to change it for 1, and then it's sort of carried through the entire thing. 13 and 9. And 14 and 9. Oh, no. And 15 and 9. And 16 and 9. Oh, I hate myself for wanting to put in this level of detail. And 17 and 9. Now, the other thing I'm going to just check... hit apply, is that you are actually... Yeah, 17 and 9. Cool, so let's playtest this again. Hi, Morg. Good to see you from the STC server. How you doing? Alright, listen up, you maggots. You might have passed boot camp, but you can't call yourself soldiers until you pass this final exam. Are you listening, cadet? Sir, yes, sir. Beautiful. Now let's run it again, and I'll purposely stop him at a different soldier and just make sure that the right soldier does react. Make sure I haven't cocked anything up. You might pass boot camp, you can't call yourself soldiers. Where are we stopping him? Should we stop him at this end? I don't know why I'm pointing, you can't see where I'm pointing. Are you listening, cadet? So yes, sir. Yes! It works. Cool. So in about an hour and 20 minutes, I have managed to not only get back to where I was after about 4 hours total in Unite, 2 hours on stream yesterday, 2 hours off stream before hitting that horrible error at the start, in MZ, because MZ is just that much better than Unite, and this is what I'm going to use to make my entry. I'm working on some commissions. Oh, nice, nice. And so you alive. Yeah, unfortunately it is, I've got to go out for lunch in about 10 minutes. So we've got the cutscene kind of working. I'm probably going to wrap things up here. Oh, yes, the text moving with the characters. That is thanks to Galv Message Styles MZ. So it allows you to do this thing called pop. So you put backhash pop, and then you put the event ID, and it shows a message window where that event or character is, instead of the usual top, middle, bottom selection. But, yeah, perfect timing. Yeah, sorry about that. But, yeah, no, this has been been good. I've remade what I had in Unite. It's working better than it did in Unite. I'm going to have more flexibility in MZ, so I probably will just carry on like this and never touch Unite again is probably where I'm at, I'm sad to say. But yeah, I'm going to head out, sort lunch, and then I don't know, I might stream. I was going to stream some Tomb Raider this evening because I streamed half the game Sunday last week. It'd be nice to stream the rest of the game this evening, but I also have, obviously, this contest to enter for, so it might be an RPG Maker stream later today, might be a Tomb Raider stream later today, I will decide. I've got some lane swimming to do, so while I'm swimming I can be debating in my head which of the two to stream. Either way, I will keep doing updates for the development progress of this, and yeah, it's if you've got the time or doing the commissions, rewind back to the start of the stream and just take a look at how bad Unite got and the issues I had with Unite. It is unconscionable that they are taking money for that product, especially $100 MSRP. That's really bad. Yeah, same. I really wanted it to work. I wanted the Internet Echo Chamber to be wrong and to be exaggerating. Because I would love an RPG Maker that can output to more than PC and mobile. I'd love for it to be able to push to PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch. Unfortunately, that's not the case. We are just going to have to be PC only for RPG Maker games for a while because RPG Maker Unite is not in a saleable state. It should be removed from the assets store. That's how strongly I feel about Unite. As I say, feel free to have a rewind to the start and see just how bad it was. But yeah. Anywho, I'm gonna well, swim and then eat. You don't eat before swimming. But I do need to find where my trunks are because I came back from swimming Wednesday. I put my trunks down somewhere, and now I've forgotten where somewhere is. And I need to leave to walk over to the pool soon. So thank you everyone for joining. It's been fun, as always. I'm sad that we've had to move the development over from Unite to MZ. I was hoping to give Unite a redemption story. I can't. It's irredeemable. So yeah, I will see you all very, very soon.